I began practicing yoga about 18 years ago, and ever since the beginning, when I started, I always just felt inclined to create my own practice. So whatever I learned, then I started sort of manipulating the sequence to something that suited my body the best. Here, what I'm demonstrating is my manipulation of sort of the Ashtanga headstand series. It's a fun series to do in its own right, but when you do it time after time, it gets a little bit sort of boring. So I like to add a little bit of spice to it. So I show here doing the pose the Ashtanga way in the beginning, and then I just throw a little bit of flair into it just to make it a little bit more interesting. And it helps me actually develop a little bit more focus. Sometimes I'm a little bit spontaneous when I do the new version of the pose. And sometimes I just repeat the same thing day after day until I have it, I guess, what I would consider good. I've been, I guess, really focusing on working with my back in these postures lately. There's not really much you can do when you're upside down, so I try to focus on trying to open up my lower back so I can get my pincha a little bit better, or my back bending a little bit better. So it definitely helps me with my focus. I really have to be completely in focus, not deviated when I'm doing it, or you'll just fall out of it pretty easily. There's a couple that are very precarious when your arms are straight out to your side. It's really challenging for me to get up, and still to today, even though I've been doing it for many years, I still get very nervous because I feel like I can go over the top, and I've never gone over the top, but I still feel that little scary butterfly feeling in my stomach when my legs get halfway up. And so I guess what I tried to do in this video is to really encourage people to just explore posture on their own. Once you've been doing yoga long enough, you understand what type of mental focus is required, and that's what yoga is about. It's yoga chitta vritti nirodha. You're trying to calm the sensations of your mind by developing a single point of focus. So for me, I'm focusing on my breath and trying to sort of empty my mind. I visualize before I do the posture, and especially if it's something new, I will just visualize it beforehand and then make the attempt. And sometimes it doesn't work out quite like I visualized, but over time it usually comes in, it comes to a fruition. So now, like, there's so many things that can be done in Yoga Asana, and Yoga Asana is such a wonderful tool for developing a greater sense of focus, a greater sense of surrender, a greater understanding of what is actually happening inside your mind and your body. Your body is usually a result of what is happening within your mind. At least that's what I've noticed. And there's maybe you had an athletic background where you were playing soccer, where it might have affected your hips a little bit. The body has a wonderful way of maximizing what it needs and what it doesn't need. So hips might be a little bit tighter. But generally, I see people who come into yoga with tight hips also have maybe some other things that they are working on. Maybe it's an emotional thing, maybe it's just a fear thing from childhood memories, I don't know, but that's what I've noticed. for me, I've noticed also that I had some fear elements when I was doing certain postures, like when I was doing handstand and then going to a full lotus in handstand. It definitely brought up like a little bit of a fear element, but practicing it many times and that will disappear. And I think that's really the wonderful thing about yoga is once you practice it every day, you're going to face those fears every day and you just inch towards conquering those fears, and then you translate those fears off the mat in your life. So I really recommend people developing a practice, and it will help you in many areas of life, but just develop a practice that really is fun and challenging for you, and you just do it safely. Make sure that you don't try to do things that you're not capable of, like all these postures I'm doing here. I know I'm capable of doing it. I'm not doing anything that is dangerous for me. It's just maybe I might put a little spin to it by doing a couple consecutive postures upside down that is not typical. So really just use caution, but have fun doing it. And that's the most important thing in yoga, is just to have fun with it. I mean, life is short, so have fun doing the practice. Always enjoy what it is that you're doing. So if you don't like yoga, if yoga is not for you, maybe it's not for you for the moment. Maybe weightlifting or maybe other activities are for you, but do it with focus and enjoy doing it. Maybe yoga will come into play later, maybe it won't, but whatever you do, just enjoy doing it, and just always try to challenge yourself to go a little bit further. I'm 57 years old and I'm still pushing myself to go farther, but I'm not pushing myself in an unsafe way. I do things slowly and try not to, I guess, cause any type of injury. I really don't get injured. I just get maybe a little bit of a sore back because I'm doing so much back bending when I'm doing such things like this, what I'm doing here in this demonstration. But besides that, my body's very healthy, and at my age, it's a really good blessing that I have never been injured. So take care, have fun.